All right, this is part two because I accidentally hit the space bar on part one. Yay! And I might edit that first part out if I figure out how. But you've also got the Metal Golem, old black coat, who is has a really fucking cool story. He is a walking suit of armor, and perhaps you might be able to wear him. But I'll leave that up to you in buying the book, and you have the Stone Golem, which is the Stone Fell Giant. I love that it has that little face there, just like, jeez. Um, and the way these golems are made is these the Hawkins, these pieces of shit. They take an ancestor spirit and they trap it in the golem to animate. They animate the golems with the ancestor spirits. This is the same thing the NIH is doing. This is the same thing the CIA is doing. And it's displayed beautifully here in Cults of Zahak. And the way it's done, it's this horrible ritual where basically these Zahakins, much like progressives, uh, basically blaspheme a whole land, a region, and the bloodlines and the heritage of that region, and they tell everyone to stop being so fucking racist. Your great 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 grandfather really isn't a big fucking deal, and they do this to basically rage bait the ancestor spirits, so the ancestor spirits will show up and say, "Shut the fuck up," in hopes that they'll be able to capture it. Now, a lot of Zahakins have tried this and gotten absolutely metaphorically raped by these ancestor spirits because weakness begets weakness. Sorry, sorry. But sometimes they do win, and that's how they create these horrific golems. Uh, um, and just imagine that. Imagine your fucking great 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 grandfather goes to heaven, and a bunch of like basically a bunch of Satanists just go through your town, you know, fucking up the graves, despoiling the churches. Also, they can get him to show up so they can basically deform him into a battery for their uh, horrific machination of evil. And battery is not a good word for it because it makes it feel like a fantasy robot, but you know what I mean. Shut the fuck up. Then it goes into explaining the different cults. You have the barbarian cult, which is basically this conspiracy to get these two barbarian tribes. The why am I thinking? Why am I thinking of the Middle East? Whatever. Sorry, to get these two barbarian tribes to basically genocide each other, and it's this guy Fargrim. Who is a eunuch? He lost his cock and balls in combat, and then couldn't die honorably, and he's big mad about it. So he's trying to, he's basically, his ultimate plan is the cosmic version of everyone loses their cock and balls. Um, what a dick. Uh, and, he's got this whole conspiracy, these different groups going against each other. And you can see like how NPCs are described and explained. You can see that's Fargrim right there, um, looking like a kind of like the Liver King, which is a perfect way to depict like a jacked, strong, forceful eunuch. And then you've got this guy Hammond. I'm not going to explain too much about him because he's not important to the review. I just really like him because I like the way he looks. Kind of this little schmeagly wretch. Um, but again, there's those random tables I'm talking about. and it basically gives you a bunch of options of what might happen in those areas to allow stories to emerge. And you've got the civilized cult, which is this sort of secret group of like artists and philosophers. And is this just the New World Order? But it's a lot cooler than the New World Order. They're like these artists and craftsmen and thinkers who have sort of been corrupted by their intellectual arrogance. Their leader, Vinetherius, he is, he's basically like this artist who has a bunch of Zahak art that he can't show anyone, and he's like, nobody will appreciate my hentai, then nobody will appreciate anything. And so he sees like all art is ugly now because he can't share his fucking disgusting Zahak scat art. And it's just like created this emptiness and isolation and arrogance in him. Also, there's a character named Amalia in the book. Um, and I'm not going to tell you much about her. I just want to say her picture, which I'm not going to show you. I'm going to let you see it in the book. It looks like an evil whore who's covered in shit. Like an attractive evil whore who's covered in poop. And I don't even know if that was actually the intention. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be blood. But the image in my head is just this Zahakan whore who's covered in poo poo. And I really wish I had just imagined blood. More random tables, and you've got the Nomad Cult, which I read the least of, but I like the name Colmat. That's the name of their leader, and they're like trying to follow this like fallen star, but really, they ultimately are just fucking nihilists, and they have some insane followers. Primitive cult. I love primitive stuff in Mithras. I've always wanted to run like a political game of like primitive characters in Mithras, but they are like a fucked up sex cult to this old lady Varsha who like has a big like falsely pregnant belly and has sex with a bunch of people in the camp, and it's just gross. And it's honestly the primitive cult here is rightfully the most disgusting and disturbing cult in this book. It's just horrific. It's insane. Um, and the leader, she can like reach hands and tentacles out of her pregnant belly. She can hands and tentacles out of her pregnant belly. If you don't think that's a fucking badass, scary, disgusting antagonist, then I don't know what it is. And it just creates, like, for your players, if maybe they're from Avalok, which I'll get to soon, or an other civilized area, to be able to come in and witness this. Or even if you're goodly primitives and you're normal people, you live in the jungles and you live your lives by the classic rules of humanity. You stick by your family. You fight hard for everything you have, and you go through the beautiful nature of life. And holy shit, why is there an elderly pregnant woman brutally raping and killing a young man? What the fuck? And just like experiencing that and having to do something about it would be just a really beautiful story seed. Now I think honestly the area where I see BLG really just involved the most, where I see their imprint, is in the Shadows over Avalok section. Is they basically came up with the city they would most like to live in and then put it in their game. But I'm half joking. Avallac'h is kind of this mixture of Jerusalem and Camelot, and it's the shining city of humanity, and it's upon this island, and it was taken back from the evil from the evil Seljuk from the lizard men who had conquered it earlier, and they had this great crusade to take it back. And now the king of Avallac'h, he's on another crusade against the lizard men, which has allowed evil to take root in the city of Avallac'h. And this evil is in the form of, you guessed it, a cult of Zahak. And they're up to some bad shit. And there's a guy named Xenocles, and he's causing some trouble, but I'm going to leave that up to you. Just know that there is a conspiracy for the very heart and soul of Avallac'h currently at work, and that your characters, if you play this game, may be able to solve and prevent it. Or if you're that kind of player, you might just help it happen. If you're a piece of shit, that is. But the section, it has these great descriptions of the different locations within the city, which I love. And each location is described in great detail. You've got the Sovereign Ward, which has like the basilicas, the citadels, and the caverns and shit. And you've got Lord's March, which is like kind of this nice area away from the common man. It's this wealthy area, and just a bunch of different districts throughout. I of course like the docks. I always like the docks in all games. They're one of the most interesting places for anything to happen. And like just you roll an 11 on a d12. Xenocles emerges from the temple. He smells terrible and asks the players to return him to his barrel. Now, I'm not going to tell you what any of that means. I'm just saying that so you'll get the book so you can find out. And then this section is just the web of intrigue, which is all of the different people in the city and how they interact with each other and the different relationships. My favorite is the old wizard Abragastes, who I want to run Shadows over Avallac'h simply so that I might have the opportunity to play Abragastes. I really like him. I find him really interesting. And he's got some beef with Xenocles. But you'll have to buy the book to know why. But just the whole web of intrigue, it's perfect. It describes the characters. It describes their relationship to other characters, their political agendas, their petty disagreements, where they like each other, where they have maybe personally they have reasons to like each other, but there are political disagreements, or vice versa. And it just all makes for great role play fuel. And really, honestly, if you just read it, you can take inspiration from the web of intrigue for literally any game you run whatsoever. And you can just apply it to characters and factions in your setting and figure out how they all work that way. And I guarantee you it will make your game better. I've been using it myself in vampire games as well as other games. And one of the other great things about this book is this picture. So, in conclusion, Cults of Zahak by Black Lodge Games is a fantastic, amazing game about heroes standing up to fight evil, putting aside whatever limitations they have, putting aside whatever fears they have, and standing up to the whispers of Zahak. And it's just a great opportunity to explore true good versus true abject evil. But as I said in my tweet or my post or whatever you want to call it these days, there's one glaring issue with this game, one serious issue. And that is that it is not Within the Ring of Fire, my favorite game ever made. That's the only issue. That it's not this beautiful book. That is definitely not falling apart. Definitely not horrifically formatted and full of fucking typos. Yeah, that's it. That was the only issue. If only they had just repackaged this game and gave me this game instead of a new, original, great game. It'd be so much better if they just gave me Within the Ring of Fire again, just completely the same game. In all seriousness, I love Black Lodge Games. They put out great stuff. You should absolutely buy their book. Don't think critically about it. Literally go on Drive Through RPG right now. Buy the PDF, buy the hardback, buy the softback, buy it as many times as you can. Because they absolutely deserve their money. Do not think critically about it. Do not think about this decision. Don't ask people for advice. Buy the game now. Do it right now while you're listening to the video. Right now, go on drivethroughrpg.com. Right now, open it up, look up Cults of Zahak. Look it up right now and buy it. Just buy it. I'm not fucking kidding. Do it. And have a great day.